Hello, this is Ron with Revive Carpet Services, and we are presenting for you Carpet Mishap Moments. For today's discussion, we would like to talk about mud. Now, of course, mud is something that both children and pets bring in the home, and there's a right way and a wrong way to take care of mud. The right way is to allow it to dry thoroughly before you go trying to vacuum it and work with it. And so for today's presentation, what I did was a week or so ago, I applied some pretty heavy mud to these pieces of carpet. And so what we will do, we will vacuum them dry first, and then we will apply some fresh mud that I have here and demonstrate to you what not to do. You can, of course, get mud out when it's damp, but it's much easier and better if you do it while it's dry. So let me go ahead and turn the vacuum on here for a moment and vacuum these severe mud spots off on the carpet. Now, as you can see here, it's 95 to 98% gone. You can barely see any trace of the mud. And it was severely down there too, very bad. So what I'll do now is go ahead and apply some fresh mud. And let's say that the dog or children just walked in the home and they brought in this little mud pile. And I'll put some on each one of the carpets here. And of course, it's just sitting there right now because these carpets have been treated. But let's say that, of course, the dog is the thing that brought the mud in. So let's go ahead and work that in just a little bit and make it like the dog would make it, or as the children would make it. And this, of course, is going to be a little more of a challenge. As you can see, it's quite severe. Now we have a piece of wool carpet here and a piece of nylon frisee here. For wool carpet, you have to be very, very careful, because if you rub and work the fiber very much, it will fray the fiber and create quite a problem. So the first thing you'd like to do in doing the spotting, if you were to spot it when it's damp, would be to vacuum it. If you do not have a wet vacuum, which you more than likely do not have, then you're in for a big challenge. So what you'd do first would be to blot. You take a towel and blot the mud out as much as possible first before you try doing anything else. So here I will take this cotton towel or this paper towel and go ahead and blot that up. I got quite a bit up. Let's go ahead and try again, get more up here. Now you don't want to rub. In rubbing, particularly with wool, you will fray the fiber and it'll be permanently distorted. So you got to be very careful, especially with wool. And as you can see here, it's gotten probably, 70–75% of it. Now we have some home remedies listed up here, and for this particular spot for mud, we'll be using the 1/4 ounce dishwashing detergent mixed with 1 quart of water. Now in this case, 1/4 teaspoon is this little tiny teaspoon here for a whole quart of water. It's important to not use more. More in this case is not better. More is worse, because if you have excess detergent, you will have a reoccurring spot. It'll come back time and time and time again. So I'll go ahead and spray the spot here with the 1/4 ounce of detergent with 1 quart of water, and I will go ahead and blot it once again. Now in blotting this, what you can actually do is put the paper towel down and step on it. Just kind of step on it and kind of work your weight back and forth. You know, kind of like you're doing the 1-2 step. And it works quite well. Of course, I don't want to stand up on the table for you here, so I'll just go ahead and blot with my palm. And actually, this is coming out better than what I thought it would. If I were to work on it a couple more times, it would come out even better. Now that's with the wool fiber. Now with the nylon frisee, you can see I worked that in pretty good. I'll go ahead and blot that again with a paper towel as much as possible, soaking up as much as the moisture and dark mud as possible. Now, as I said earlier, it's best if you can wait until the mud is dried and it comes out much better. What I'm doing here in doing this is working the mud down into the fiber somewhat, but for demo purposes, that's what we'll do. I'll go ahead and continue to work more of that out if I can. And then I'll apply the dishwashing detergent once again and see what we come up with the frisee carpet. You can see it's actually driving it down in further, so it's making more of a mess. So this is what not to do. And it's on purpose I'm showing this, because it's important that you understand that you allow fibers to dry when you're dealing with mud, not to try to get them out when they're damp. I'll go ahead and try it with the dishwashing detergent once again, spraying it, moistening it pretty good. And then we'll towel it once again and see what we come up with. It's not coming up as well as we had hoped, of course. Let's spray it once again. I used the wrong bottle that time. I used the vinegar and water rather than the detergent. Maybe that's why it didn't come up better. Now the home remedies I have up behind me here are used for various different operations, various different mishaps. And so as the time goes on, if you're interested in having more demos, be sure and come back to us and we'll demo things such as red wine, turkey grease, pet stains. And if you have some that you're interested in that we don't talk about, just email us or let us know and we will make a video for that. So we appreciate any feedback that you have. And as you can see, on the frisee particularly, since it's a deep fiber, the mud did not come out very well. And so it's much more important. The mud up here, why don't I go ahead and just spot that a little bit with the dishwashing detergent and get that just a little bit better. Now I'm just misting it on there. I'm not soaking it, just more or less misting it. And then I'll go ahead and blot that. Here again, you don't want to do a lot of rubbing because you'll fray the fiber and create a permanent type damage. There we go. And now with the wool fiber, you can see the mud here, a little trace here. Why don't we go over once again? We haven't used the cleaning agent on the wool fiber. Go ahead and spray that and go ahead and towel that once again and see what we come up with. Now after doing the spotting, if there's excess residues, it's always recommended that you place a towel or more of the paper towels over the spot and then place something heavy on top. Now what this does is in the drying process, things will wick up and you don't want them depositing on the top of the fiber. You want them depositing on something else. And so the something else would either be the paper towels or terry cloth, a white terry cloth. And so you leave that for a day or two, come back, and when the spot is dried out, it's gone. So those are the techniques for spotting mud. If there's any questions, be sure and give us a call at Revive Carpet Services, and we'd be glad to help you out.